We're here in Grand Prairie, Texas, just west of Dallas for a new location, Palace Poker. I've heard great things about this place. You guys can see some of the background shots here. Really fun session, saw a lot of big hands and got put in some interesting spots. As always, if you guys could leave a like and sub, helps the channel so much. And don't forget, face reveal September 2nd. Enough talk, let's get into the hands. One of the first hands we see is pocket queens. Let's go. There's an under the gun open to 15, a call, and when it gets to me, I put in the obvious 3-bet to $50. Could go a bit bigger, but that's how much I went in game. Under the gun calls, and then the +2 puts in the fold. Heads up to a flop, and it looks pretty good. Jack 9-4. I think we're going to try to go bet jam here on the turn, trying to get value from King Jack, Ace Jack, that kind of thing. He checks to me, and I'm going to follow through with the plan here. I bet $70, looking to size up for a turn jam on a lot of clean turns, and he puts in the call. The turn is not really one I wanted to see. It's the 10 of clubs. He checks to me, and I know we have an overpair still with an open-ender, so regardless of what he has, we have some equity. Now, there are just a lot of hands like jacks, 9s, 10s, which he might play this way that we're drawing very thin against. I think checking behind and evaluating rivers, really, I just don't want to see an ace or a jack, right? If he has king jack, a king gives us a straight. So I'm playing a little bit of pot control, planning on jamming a lot of rivers if he checks to me, but not an ace. Oh god, now we lose to a ton of hands, 9s, 10s, jacks, ace jack. We're really only bidding queen jack and king jack, but he checks to me, and I say this.
I was gonna jam like almost any river except for an ace and a jack. Dang, I should have jammed the turn. Alright. I have queens.
I got it.
Dang.
Yeah, whoo! Oh my god, he checked the nuts to me twice. Okay, I think we lose close to the minimum once the turn hits and river hits. Wow, I was jamming a lot of rivers for real. That was close. I end up getting called for the bigger 1-3 game. We're in for around 500. Not exactly because we lost a little bit there at 1-2. As everyone is sitting down, the dealer's like, hey, you guys want to get started? And we're like, sure. We play a bomb pot. I flop middle set with 8s and take it down. And then we look down at pocket aces that people are sitting down. Holy crap, this is like within my first total orbit of playing here. I opened to $15 to get a call. The flop is whatever. I c-bet and take it down. And then we look down at another premium almost immediately, ace king. I opened to $15 and get one caller to a flop of ace 3-4. That's pretty good. I c-bet for $20 and get raised to 50. Just a snap raise, no thought at all. This doesn't feel great, to be honest. I'm deep and so is he. Don't think I can fold here. I put in the call. And the turn is the Miracle King. Holy crap, we now have top 2 pair. I check, and he continues for $100. Now, I think I make a mistake here. My brain went ooga booga, I'm scared of a set. He is repping a big hand for sure, but I think a lot of his range is going to be ace 3, ace 4, and sometimes he's overplaying ace jack, ace queen. If he has a set, he has a set. This should just be a raise here. I end up putting in the call, and there really aren't a lot of bad rivers. But of course, this one, how about a 5? Oh god. Now there's a 1-liner to a deuce. I don't really think he has it. But if I check and he bets, it's gonna get kind of weird because it's never fun calling on 4-liner board. If he has ace deuce, that would suck. I check, he snap checks back and shows flop 2 pair. Oh, I should have raised the turn. I think he might call and I get a ton of it. Literally though, right after this hand, like 3 of the guys racked up and left. So we end up going back to 1-2 so I can be on a full table. Ended up making all the money back we lost from 1-2, and overall we were up now $5 on the day. Also, the guy we just beat in that ace-king hand was in the group that left, so not really a hit and run. Like, the table, like, just a lot of people left. So I went back to 1-2. We see ace-king and diamonds, one of our first hands. Let's go. I pop it up to $15, get 2 callers. Do a flop of 10-9 jack with 2 spades. Well, the board where I think c-betting is not a great idea because there's just so many hands that aren't going to fold and maybe raise. I check, it checks around. The turn is the Miracle Queen of clubs. Oh my god. I bet out for $30. The first guy starts going into the tank, and I'm like, dude, just raise. Like, are you about to raise? That would be great. Eventually, he folds, and the other guy puts in a real shaky-looking call. River is the 6 of spades. I don't love it as the front door flip gets there, but scared money don't make money. I bet for $50, targeting what I think is maybe the lower end of the straight or 2 pair, because he didn't seem confident about the turn call. He eventually puts in the call. I think we're always good then. I inform him of the straight, and we win. We then have our first bomb pot of the vlog, and the bomb pots here are PLO. One thing that's interesting to note, and I was talking to the manager, and this may change, there's a cap on the bomb pots. 1-2 is $200, and the 1-3 is $300 cap. So something to note. I pick up Jack 4 of diamonds and Ace Jack of hearts. Not the worst hand, all things considered. The top board comes 8-5-3, 2 spades. The bottom board comes deuce, queen, 3. We have gutters and an overpair on one board. That's about it. There is a bet for $30, and I decided to put in the call with a few other people, a little loose. The turns are the 10 of clubs and the ace of diamonds. Well, we still just have a gutter on the top board and an overpair, obviously. The bottom board, we have an ace, a gutter, and a flush draw. We're getting decent odds. And the guy decides not to pot it, who bet the flop. He bets $55. There's a couple calls, including me. I mean, we're getting a decent price. The rivers are the queen of diamonds and the 8 of hearts. Oh, we go brick, brick. And now he pots it. Obviously here, nothing to do. We get out of the way and we look at the hands, and we were actually going to head on the bottom board until the river, which is a shame. We then look down at pocket kings from the big blind, our third super premium of the day. Well, I guess we have ace king twice. I mean, we're just picking up hands. There's a open to $15 in early position, 2 callers, and it gets to me. I threw bet a little bit bigger this time to $65 and only get a call from the first guy. I really just don't want to see an ace on the flop, but damn, how about a flop of king 6-8? We flop the nuts. Wow. I don't think there is a turn card we don't want to see, and when that's the case, checking totally fine. I used to check boards like this, but recently, what if I just bet small? Maybe it looks weak, maybe he raises, he shouldn't fold. I go about 20% pot for $35. Remember, this is a 3-bet pot. The dude immediately just like throws his cards in disgust and folds. I'm like, dude, it was a 20% pot size bet. Oh my god, I should have checked. I don't know what he had. Probably what, like ace jack, ace queen, and he just gave up on it. Oh god, that hurts. We lose so much value after flopping the nuts, but nice to not see an ace. For this next hand, you need some context. This is Song, a vlog watcher who was trying to make the vlog. He was having a hell of a night. He was up like over $2,000. Giving a lot of action, and he said it was his goal to make the vlog, so just have that in mind. I put on the button straddle, and he puts on the blind raise to 10 on my left. I look down at jack 6 offsuit, but it just limps to me, and for $5 more, I'll see a flop. We end up picking up another caller to a flop of jack 9-4 with 2 clubs. It checks to me and doesn't take rocket science here. We have top pair. I bet out for $15, and ending up getting both players to call. Okay, interesting. The turn is a 10 of clubs. That sucks a lot. It checks to me, and tons of hands beat us now. No real point. Gonna play some pot control. I check, and Song checks on my left. Interesting. The river is a 2 of diamonds. Basically, nothing has changed. The guy on my right checks. I put in a check, and now Song bets out for $45. I think he would bet a lot of his strong value hands on the turn, and once the guy on my right folds, it's on me. Now, I have kind of made it a point lately to stop calling river bets because, my god, I'm like 1 for 20 on river bets lately when I think it's something fishy and I make a hero call. So that is on my mind that I've just been so wrong again, time and time. And I know there's a lot of hands that beat us, but it just feels kind of weird, like he's trying to buy the pot. I really think in position here, he would bet the turn. So I take a lot of time. I tell him I don't love it at all, but eventually I put in the call and he flips over 9-3 offsuit, trying to get one past your boy. But he's a vlog watcher. He should know I stationed the living hell out of everybody. Let's go. I then pick up 10-9 of clubs, I pop it up to 15 and get 3 callers. To a flop of deuce 4 deuce with 2 clubs. It checks to me, and with 2 clubs and 2 overs, I think it's a pretty good spot to bet. Don't need to bet too big, as I think we can get a lot of folds, because there's just so many hands that can miss here. I end up going fairly sizable, close to half pot for $35. It gets through the first 2 guys, and I'm expecting it to work, but then the third guy puts in the call. I think this is often clubs himself. Maybe the old ace 3, ace 5, a 4, or pocket pair. Sometimes maybe he's got trips, but I'm not super worried about it. The turn, however, is the 10 of hearts, and he checks to me again. There's a ton of hands I just mentioned that we beat. I put in another bet for $50, thinking we're way ahead, and he's got maybe a gutter and an over, or just a pocket pair with 2 outs. Thinking that we're just in a really good spot here, I bet small, and he does call. The river is the 8 of diamonds, and he checks to me. Now, a lot of hands he has that I just mentioned miss, but those pocket pairs and a 4 are the hands I'm going to target here. I go $75, not super huge in comparison to the pot, giving him a decent price, but he ends up snap folding. And I tell him after he just snap folds that if you needed clubs, then I'm happy one didn't come, because he may have had a bigger flush draw that plays exactly like that, and we could have gotten scooped if another club came, but it didn't. We win the pot, and stuff is looking in the right direction again. Look down at ace queen of clubs from the small blind. There's a button open to 20, and this should be a 3-bet sometimes. I think from the small blind against a fairly big or open, a flat is fine. There are 2 other callers to a flop of king jack jack with 2 clubs. Holy hell, we have a royal flush draw. That would be kind of awesome. The guy c-bets for $15. Now, I don't know what you guys think this is. I think if he flopped a full house, kings full, or king jack, a small bet makes a ton of sense. Let someone maybe raise thinking it's weak or just continue to get value. A little wary, but obviously I'm never folding. I call, and the other two guys fold. The turn, bink, the 3 of clubs, we get there immediately. I check, very curious to see what he does here, and he checks behind. I think that does indicate that his flop bet was weakness, but who knows. River's the queen of hearts. Now, he's got a bunch of full houses in his range, and also some hands that obviously have some equity or showdown value, a jack, a queen, a king. I bet for $40, and he says he doesn't like it, thinks I have a flush, and puts in the call. We win the pot, and watching this back, I mean, I have no idea how small that was in comparison to the pot. Was that like third pot? I don't know what that was. Maybe I was looking for a call. It was genius against 9s or 8s. I have no idea. That was a really weirdly small river bet. It should have been bigger, but regardless, we win the pot. At this point, we're up around $200, and this next hand is going to make or break our session from a winning or losing perspective. Up to this point, I look down at Jack 9 of hearts. There's a straddle and a bunch of calls, and I try to steal it with a bet to $25, and end up getting 2 callers. To a flop of 10, 9, 10 with 2 spades. Well, we probably have the best hand. There's a ton of draws, and I want to deny equity from overcards, obviously. I bet for $40 and only get a call from the button. The turn is an absolute brick, and now I'm not really sure what to do. On one hand, I really want to deny equity from the unbelievably large amount of draws. Queen, jack of spades, spades in general. There's so many draws, but of course he could have a 10, and I'm just betting into the abyss. I do think the move is to bet again, and I can't imagine he raises with a draw. It's probably only a 10 that raises, and that kind of helps us figure it out. But I check, and he does bet, but it's for my same flop bet of $40. Okay, don't think I can fold yet. Let's evaluate rivers. The river's another complete brick, and I check again. He takes a little bit of time and then puts out a bet for $75. Now, I know there's so many misdraws, right? It's a very draw-heavy board, but as I said, I've been just whiffing like hell on these hero calls. It's just always been the hand I think they have. Live, I was very verbally like, I just feel like it's a 10, huh? If it's a better 9, that's gonna really hurt mentally on the way home from a drive standpoint, but it just feels like a 10 or a draw. And you guys know me, as I said, I tend to station the hell out of people when I have some decent showdown value. If he has a 10, congratulations, you played it like it feels like a 10. I put in the call, and he immediately says, "You're good, buddy," and shows me king, jack of spades. I actually think from an equity standpoint, he was a favorite on the flop. Wow, we went actual brick, and we find a way to win the pot. You love to see it. We played for a little while longer, and at the end of it, we were in for 300, out for 692. If you add the mega $5 win we had from the combined 1-2, one hand of queens in the 1-3 session, we won like $397. That was great. I got some food too. That was a good time. Really nice room one. I'll be back to for sure. Kind of like a TCH social competitor with like the kitchen and the niceness and everything. So really nice room. If you haven't checked it out, you probably should. And yeah, if you guys can leave a like and sub, helps the channel so much. Per usual, I'm Chris, and I'm out.